So 4 weeks in and 2 races under my belt, things are moving nicely, and now I enter phase 2 of this 10K training series. So today we're going to be talking all about the tempo run, how that's incorporated into my training, and what races we have coming up for the rest of the block. What is up guys, Andy Forrest Team Runner here. Welcome back to another video, and this is week 4 of my 10K challenge. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is a training series. I'm sharing my journey to hopefully beating my 10K PB over the next 12 weeks. If you're not new here, welcome back to another episode. So there's a couple of things we're going to be talking about this week. Excitingly, I'm going to be sharing with you the goal race, all the other races that we've got coming up, because we've got a race every other week at the moment now leading into the goal race, which is super exciting. I'm going to be sharing with you the adaptations I've had to make because the goal race that I did have is no longer happening. Therefore, I'm having to change things around a little bit, and the block might extend a week or two. I'll share that with you shortly. But first, before we do any of that, we're going to be diving in and talking all about tempo runs. And of course, before we do that and sit and talk about it, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the featured workout of the week. So we're going to cut to that right now.
All right, welcome, good morning, and welcome to another featured workout. I'm being a little bit quiet this morning because I'm super early and I'm stood around a load of houses, so I do not want to wake anyone up. But today is about the long run. Today is a massive shift around in terms of the week, how it's been. I've been ill, structure and everything is gone, but it's all about the long run. And it's all about tempo inside the long run. That's what this is all about, and I'm excited to share what today's workout is all about. So we'll hear from Coach Will now as to what we have in store this week, and then we'll talk a little bit more very quickly before we roll in to the workout.
Right then, Rainer, well done for your 9K at the weekend. Big work. Pretty sure that was, of course, PB for you. We'd love to see it. Not too bad. We're only a few weeks into this block, and yeah, still gonna have some pretty juicy legs off the marathon. So to be able to get back into that, get some speed down, we're all good. Well done. So because of that race, I think it's probably best we change up the week. So instead of obviously having that VO2 max session on the Monday, we're going to move that later into the week, and we're just going to start off with an easy run. On Tuesday, we're going to move that kind of tempo, hour pace effort session. We're going to move that to Tuesday just because that's going to be a lower intensity session, and I think you're going to be able to do that a bit better off tired legs. So that was going to be a bit of a steady run, and then 10 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, all of a 60-second jog into a 30-minute steady, and then a couple strides at the end. Nothing too intense, nothing too crazy, but a good one just to get you, just to get a bit of work in on those tired legs. We're then going to move the VO2 max session. We're going to move that to Thursday, just so you're then freshened up for the next week, because you have to remember all this training carries over. So we're going to have a 1200 meters pretty hard. I'm going to want that at 3K pace, nice and hard, just to get a lot of fatigue in the legs. And then it's going to be 3-minute rest, followed by 4 sets of 600 meters, 90 seconds rest, 300 meters times 2, 75-second rest. And obviously I'm going to want those harder than that 1200 meters, so it's going to be tough. Hitting that 600 off those 300 meters is going to be attritional, but it's really going to be good for that kind of speed endurance and being able to have that mentality to keep the speed up when everything is getting tiring. Finishing that off, after those 4 sets, we're just gonna have 2x200 meters of 75 seconds, blast those out, see what you've got left. That's basically like finishing off a race, and you know what? It's gonna feel pretty similar too. The 10K session, gonna move that to Saturday, because then you have a Sunday day rest, so then you'll be able to hit Monday the following week. It's gonna be 8 minutes at 10K effort, 90 seconds rest, 4 minutes at slightly quicker, probably more towards your 5K effort, 90 seconds rest, and then 7 lots of 75 seconds on, 60 seconds off, 45 seconds on, 60 seconds off. So it's going to be relentless, changes of speed, and it's going to really help with being able to push through and getting used to that kind of being stuck in all that lactate. Finishing off 4x30 seconds. Why do we keep doing all these 4x30 seconds? Well, it really helps for that final race day kick, and I'm sure by the end of this you'll be thanking me for it.
Okay, so adapting is the name of the game, and that's what we've had to do this week. It's just been an absolute nightmare, and I'm going to go through how I've adapted it all very shortly, but let's get the workout done first. It's currently 5:45 in the morning, and we have 25 minutes steady, 10 minutes tempo, 6 minutes tempo, 10 minutes tempo, so a little sandwich there, 30 minutes steady, and then 4x20 minute strides. So without further ado, let's get on with this. Let's get rolling, because it's a bit cold this morning. We'll see how we do. Here we go, around the roundabout and back down onto the industrial estate. So nearly at the start of the first tempo. I feel terrible this morning, absolutely terrible. I'll explain why after the workout, but the dream today was tempos, 10 minutes at 5:40s, the 6 in the 5:30s, but it's going to be 6s and 5:50s today. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. I've got absolutely nothing and I'm about to risk the whole session on having a gel that I've never tried before. So yeah, this might go horribly wrong, or we might just survive. I'm not sure yet. Okay, as expected, 6 flat per mile for that one. Definitely can't shift gears this morning. There we go, 6 minute done, 5:57 pace. It is not a good day today, but it's all about the effort. We keep going. There we go, 6:01 pace. So a rather flat kind of session this morning. 30 minutes moderate to do now, and 4 by 20 seconds strides. Run done. Lots to take from this one, lots to take. Thankfully I guess I've been running long enough now though not to worry too much about these sorts of things, as those are reasons why this morning just didn't happen. I'll go through those shortly, but I think all I've got to take from this is the effort was there. I finished it, I got it done despite the paces being about 20 to 30 seconds a mile slower than normal. And yeah, we'll touch base with you shortly. I'm just gonna walk home and eat the house out of all the food that I can.
So that was a bit disappointing, wasn't it? Obviously I was used to previous weeks, or the previous time I did a tempo workout, hitting 5:30s, 5:40s, and I was out on the trails rolling. So to be hitting 6 and late 5s on the flat was just kind of really, for me, it was quite disappointing. Now, I'm very happy that I finished the workout, but there's a few reasons as to why that happened. But the main one is I've been ill this week. I wouldn't say I've been severely ill, but I have to say I was certainly not as ill as I was with COVID a few weeks back. But this is hanging around. It's some kind of virus, some kind of cold. It's all in my sinuses. And I've been really struggling. If you've heard the videos that I've made with this week, you've probably heard that I've sounded quite sick. It's just not shifting. This is Friday when I'm recording this now. I'm feeling mildly better today, but I'm still really congested, still have quite a sinusy headache. There's nothing on the chest. All is good there. I managed to get a nice easy run done this morning and everything feels okay, but I'm definitely not in peak form. Therefore, I have to accept that these things are going to happen. So I'm not going to naturally go and hit the splits that I would when I'm feeling nice and healthy. I just got to put the effort in. I ground it out, and yeah, I got the duration done. What that did mean though is I decided to get rid of the double that day. I was meant to go out for another easy run later. I decided to rest. In fact, actually, what I've decided to do this week in general is just prioritize strength training. I've been strength training 3 times a week. I'm absolutely fed up of having poor form and having posture issues, and I just want to get to the bottom of it. So this is sort of going into week 5 of my new strength routine, which I will share at some stage, don't worry. But I just prioritised that. I thought, do you know what? I could go and drain the tank by doing another easy run, but actually it's probably more important for my long-term running to prioritise the strength training. And I thought to myself, that's exactly what I'll do. So that, I think, is one of the major reasons. I didn't get a lot of sleep that night anyway. Plus I ran that following evening. I didn't eat enough after that easy run I had with Matt. So I think I just went out there super tired, underfueled, and feeling rather ill. So I guess the combination of those things probably led to how that workout went. So if you missed last week's video, or was it the week before, I'm not sure, where I talked about the 3 different types of runs that will make you guys faster 10K runners, where I shared the story about the VO2 max work, the threshold work, and the tempo work. That's what it's all about at the moment with my training. The Monday VO2 max, which is faster than goal pace, the threshold work, which is in and around goal pace, and the tempo work, which is slightly below it. Today, I just want to focus quickly on the tempo and tell you how I'm incorporating it into my training, how Will's putting it in there, and how it's going to look moving forwards. So the tempo work is kind of propping up the rest of it, and we're working above, in the middle and below, and over time just sort of squeeze that down and hopefully get those paces to become a little bit faster as I get a little bit fitter. So for clarification, the tempo work in Will's definition is 1 hour race pace. So I need to be aiming for in and around 5:30s, 5:30 to 5:35. That's where I'm going to be shooting. That's what I hit last time I did the tempo work. Obviously it didn't happen this time, but that's the goal. That's the purpose of it. And I'm going to be incorporating it, or Will's putting it in my long runs for me. So that's exciting because I tried to do that earlier in the summer and then it just didn't happen for me. I knew that I needed to add tempo work in, and that's such a big component about getting fitter. Those tempo runs are just so good for us as runners. I didn't get to pursue that earlier in the summer when I tried it, so I'm excited to give it a go again now. And at the moment, the tempo work's starting off rather small. I'm doing some smaller tempo intervals, but that's going to get longer as the block progresses. Obviously, as I alluded to earlier, we're moving into phase 2 now, so you'll see the training change over time. And as we move into phase 3 towards the mid to end of December, towards the end of the block, you'll see how things change again. Just for clarification, if you're interested, I will be talking about the weekly structure at the end, how this week's been, but all the training is currently being documented on my website. So goal races, this is a good one, isn't it? So the original plan was going to be to target the Speedway 10K. Well, sadly that one doesn't look like it's happening. It was submitted to Run Britain. I assumed it was going to be on, I think it was like January 23rd or something like that, and that would have been a 13-week block. So I messed up in the beginning by saying it was going to be a 12-week block anyway, but it was going to be a 13-week block, and that was all good. However, it doesn't look like it's going to be happening because a statement on the website states that the club, Chepstow Harriers, are hosting a cross-country on that day, so they can't hold the Speedway, so they're looking at alternative dates. Well, it's getting quite late into November now, into December. They're certainly not going to put it earlier in January. I can imagine if they organise it, it will either be later in January, February, or potentially even in the summer, because they've done that before. So that one is out the window. So what I had to do to wrap up the 12 weeks is to book in to the Lisbury 8. Now this race is the goal race, and this is the race that I had wanted to do this year anyway, so I was hunting down for a place. This race sold out in about 5 or 6 hours. It's insane. It is a flat and fast 8-mile race, which I hear you say is not a 10K. I fully understand that. It's as close as I could get to a 10K in and around this time of year without doing too much travel, because coming off the back of the holiday season, I'm not going to be wanting to get on a train or drive a long way for a 10K when I'm just coming off the back of Christmas. I know that by the 15th of January I'll have got back into the swing of training after a few days off over Christmas, but there was nothing around that date, the 12 weeks, that I could have done within sort of 2 or 3 hours of my house. Therefore, we're going for the Lisbury 8. Now, the build-up races to this, I've got cross country on December the 10th. Really excited for that. Have some spikes. Shout out to Mike for sorting me out with those. I'll talk about more about that at the time. And I've got Hereford 10K on Wednesday the 28th of December, straight after Christmas. And that's a rust buster, and that's on the hills. I've done that before. There is a video on the channel for it. It is an incredible race, but it's about 300-400 foot of elevation. It's like that all the way. It's a good fun, and it is really a case of, like the New at 9 that I've just done, go out there, have a bit of fun after Christmas, bust the rust, and it kind of brings you back down to earth and gets you ready for training again. So at the moment, I've got those 2 races plus Lisbury, so cross country in less than 2 weeks. Then 2.5 weeks later, I've got that 10K, and then 2 weeks later after that, I've got the 2.5 weeks later after that, I've got the Lisbury 8 miler. Now, I am earmarking some 10Ks at the end of January, which is what I alluded to earlier about extending the block slightly. I am going to cap the training block at 12 weeks because I want to move into marathon training then, but there's a couple of 10Ks I'm looking at in the last week of January and the first week of February where I'm going to be shooting for this time. So you might have to bear with me and stick around just for a couple more weeks for me to get that time. However, if I can't book onto any of those or things don't quite pan out the way they are, there will be a 10K time trial the week before Lisbury on, is that the 7th or the 8th or whatever it is. That's when I'm going to be shooting, and I'm going to be going down to the Speedway course to give it a good go. So there we go, that's a wrap on week 4. Currently as it stands recording this, it's Friday. I have one more run to do on Saturday. That's my VO2 max workout because things have shifted around this week due to the new at 9 back on Sunday. So excited to hopefully go out there, feel a bit better and get that one done. What I've decided to do on the fly right now is say to you guys, I won't talk about my weekly training. I won't give you a recap. Go check out the website. I'm documenting it all on there. Saves me putting up blurry screenshots on screen and saves me waffling about it. You guys can go and read it in your own leisure. There is a link below to the website, to the training, and a massive thanks to Will once again for his help through this training block. His links, YouTube channel and Strava, are in the description below. Go subscribe to Will on YouTube, go follow him on Strava. And that's it for me today, guys. We've got another good week next week planned, hopefully building back up towards the 50-mile mark. We're getting there with the volume. Things are starting to feel good, starting to feel comfortable. And a week after that, we're back at cross country. Cannot wait. So I will see you guys in the next episode. That's it for today, though. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then.